Welcome to Thunder Bay Live. I'm here at the Renaissance Cafe, and I'm here with John Rafferty, candidate for Thunder Bay Rainy River. John, first of all, welcome. Always a pleasure to have you here on the show. And John, my first question, I guess, is directed for the people out there that don't really know you or know about your background. Could you just let them know a little bit about yourself and what you've been through?
I was first elected in 2008. That's 7 years ago, and of course, I'm asking for your vote again this election to continue the work that I've done in Ottawa. But before that, I was a broadcaster, an educator, and have done a number of things, including living and working as a volunteer overseas. So although it's I have a varied experience, but and all that experience has worked in my favor in terms of being an MP.
Now, John, you're with the NDP party. Why did you choose the NDP party to be a candidate for, and what do you like about the party in this election?
Well, I worked on my first NDP campaign more than 45 years ago, so I guess I've been sort of steeped in NDPism, since that time. I worked as a teenager, hammering in signs and dropping leaflets at doors. But I'm very excited about our platform in this election, particularly our platform for Northern Ontario, which we released on Monday. And it talks about Northern Ontario and where we need to go. Let me just mention a couple of things. One is support for forestry. $105 million to make sure that we continue to work on creating jobs in the forestry sector. FedNor, a standalone agency, and replacing the $12.6 million the Conservatives have taken out. And my other critic area, which is retirement security, is a huge area for me in terms of making sure that seniors do not live in poverty in this riding or right across Canada. And the first part of that is returning to 65 from 67, the retirement age.
I think a lot of people will be happy to hear that. John, how's the election been going so far? How are people reacting to you at the doors? And are they happy to see you, pleased to see you, super happy to see you?
Well, what I like about knocking on doors and talking to people is that they're almost all, to anyone who answers the door, they're quite happy to talk to me. I think people in the riding feel comfortable with me. They know that I will listen. That used to be, if you remember on radio, that used to be my tagline, right? He may not always agree, but he always agrees to listen, and I always do listen and act and react. So I think people know that, so my welcomes at the door are really quite nice.
John, is there one particular issue that's on people's minds when you do knock on the door?
Income security and the economy seems to be very high on people's agendas, particularly seniors. You know, if you retired, let's say 15 years ago on a fixed income, and you haven't had an opportunity, you don't have an index pension, for example, or you haven't had an opportunity to increase your income, 15 or 20 years ago, that was okay. You managed okay in your retirement, but it's not okay now, and that's a real concern with many doors that I knock on.
John, is there anything you want to say to the people out there before we end this interview?
Well, I want to talk about October 19th, and of course encourage everybody to vote. But I want to talk about Thunder Bay Superior North next door and Thunder Bay Rainy River. Conservatives were second in 2011. We don't want those Conservatives to slip up the middle by splitting the vote. In both of these ridings, a vote for the NDP is to make sure Stephen Harper is not in Ottawa.
John, thank you very much for being here today. It's always a pleasure, and I've got to say, you still have that great radio voice.
And you do too, Aldo. So thank you.
Thank you very much for watching Thunder Bay Live here at the Renaissance Cafe. Have a great day. Thank you.